Well, speaking about things that make sense, I don't know how much of Raw you think you're going to be talking about here, but why don't we're talking about the segment and the ratings it did. Why don't we talk about the Punk segment right now?
Well, I think we should, because it's only one page in. There wasn't much in the first hour to notate.
No. And this is why we call it the big 9 o'clock hour right here.
The big 9 o'clock hour. And Adam Pearce was in the ring. And he introduced, of course, the man who's going to make his decision. Where's he going to go? CM Punk. And suddenly, like Mussolini, in a best-selling tee.
Good job.
He got the ovation. He got the viewers. He got the ratings. He's selling merchandise. The music comes down. He's got the chance. And Pearce hands him the mic. And here's the thing about, we'll talk about the story he told a second, but the fact that, again, he told a story. He talks to people. Everybody else almost is talking at him, reciting things to them, at them, but he's not talking, or they're not talking to the people. And in the wrestling, in the territory days especially, whether everybody likes it or not, the heels, but even the over baby faces, they were over the top personalities, or they were boisterous, or they were trash talkers or shit disturbers that got you interested in themselves and what the fight was, and that they were going to be involved in, the issue. That was what drew money. In modern times, it is unfashionable to have a personality, or to be a boisterous, shit-talking, fucking, over-the-top fucking yahoo like goddamn handsome Jimmy Valiant or whatever the fuck. But the point still remains that you have to believe what somebody is saying. So even if, again, having a personality these days is frowned upon in this environment, Punk has a personality. You know, he's got that twinkle in his eye, as Mama Cornette might say. He's got that smart-ass tone, edge, but at the same time, you believe he's probably a good guy until maybe he's not. But he talks to people. He tells them a story. He says shit that sounds like he believes it. In a lot of cases, he does. It is genuine. And he then, as Jerry Jarrett used to say, tell people the truth as long as you can, that they know to be the truth, because then when you work them for the sake of the wrestling, they don't know where one starts and the other stops. But Punk he talks to people. He's genuine in that respect. And a lot of these people, to them, he's come back to wrestling for the first time. They didn't pay enough attention. It wasn't this week or their week to watch AEW where they had paid enough attention that there was another wrestling show. So for this, it's brand new for these people. So he's breaking a little bit of the same ground, but in a different fashion and in a whole lot bigger platform. But do you agree with me on that? That almost everybody, Brian, these days, we talk about it, reciting, memorized. It's like they might as well have a guy doing an in-ring promo, just open on the ring with curtains and have the curtains open. And he, by the last breath of the four winds that blow, I'll have revenge upon Fortunato. It's a fucking play. You can't believe it on an emotional level or get interested in somebody, except for a few of the breakthrough wordsmiths.
Just wait until they have a 20-minute segment with Cody and Punk in the ring in the future, because then it'll really show the dichotomy between the ways of speaking. But WWE has a lot of that, and some guys pull it off. LA Knight speaks above the audience, but to them. Punk is telling a story in a down-to-earth way, whether you like him or not. That's just the way he delivers it.
Yes.
And then you have people, I hate to single out one of your favorites, but like Austin Theory. I can't believe anything this guy says. He doesn't know how to deliver it yet.
He was headed in that direction, and then he just kind of started floundering in every category. But I think it still can be there, but that somebody needs to be working on it. He needs to be working on it. He might ought to be in goddamn, not even NXT. He ought to be an OVW where somebody in 2 TV markets is seeing him, give him the whole show and let him just take over and see if he can bring it out. But nevertheless.
But the other issue is not a lot of guys.
Well, let me say what you said. Hold on. I'm still respondifying to you. As far as Cody, there's room for that too, because he's so dramatic. Dusty was dramatic in his own everyman son of a plumber way. You've got LA Knight, who's the wrestler guy. You've got CM Punk, who's the modern guy. You've got fucking Cody, who's the dramatic guy. It's in the territories. Everybody was different. They had a different style, personality, outlook, except for the people who were just there to just fucking wrestle. And they could be interchangeable. So they're baby faces. And Jey Uso, I think he's different than he's yeeting all over the place. Nobody else is yeeting. So they're all different. That's what they've got going for them too. I think Triple H may have figured this out, that what Vince was just cookie cuttering a lot of fucking people.
What I was going to say is Punk has one thing also going for him, in that he's already a star and he's established how he talks, when he talks, what he does. A lot of people would not get that opportunity to go out there and be more natural in what they're saying and not just tightly on the script.
But unfortunately, from a lot of the guys that I see, the way they do the written stuff, I'm not sure they'd be that much better at the fucking ad lib. But anyway, so Punk, the promo, he drew the analogy to Cleveland and that arena and what it had meant to him through his career. He, had his, I don't know if it was a tryout, dark match, whatever, but he debuted in Cleveland, and he passed that test apparently and got sent to OVW. And then he came back later on when he was on the roster to Cleveland as the world champion, and I guess that's where Orton kicked him in the head and he got a concussion and they stripped him of the title. And then that was where that he did he basically walked out and, as he said, took himself off the hamster wheel 10 years ago, almost to the day. And everybody in Cleveland that was there, they're the faithful WWE fans, they knew that to be true. And so then he said, if anybody was disappointed or betrayed because I went home because I couldn't take it, whatever, he felt the same way when Piper went to WCW. So if you were mad at me, I understand and I apologize.
Why couldn't he say I'm sorry to the Bucks?
Because he wasn't. And then, he talked about the offers that everybody made, but Pierce put the best deal together of all. See, Punk is not going to be beating Pierce up in the near future, I do not believe. Like Orton can get away with Aldis because of the different personality and dynamic. And his mind was made up when he saw Cleveland on the schedule. 10 years ago, I walked out, and now I've walked right back in, and congratulations, Adam Pearce. CM Punk is home. And he signed the contract. And that's perfect. He takes you on the ride with him with enough of the inflections and asides and everything. But at the same time, it's not like, oh God, can he get to the point? Oh God, I wish this would be over, like a lot of the other stuff, because it's not coming from their heart and their mind. And there's not when they've got these other guys saying these ridiculous things, there's not that level of connection. But I thought a good job there. Boom, gets the pop. And do you have any comments before the worm turns?
Good job there at some of the points where he was talking, like you said, not really speaking at the audience or past the audience. They got quiet to hear what he was going to say, and I wanted to see how they were going to react there. A good promo, though.
And then here comes the music of Seth Franklin Rollins. and he still gyrated and capitulated to the ring. But when they get in the ring, there's the big face-off and the stare down, and they milked it. And a while, and the fans first, they started rumbling, and they started to, whoa, or, oh, goddamn, I can never remember his tune. Oh, whatever the fuck. They did his. And then, as soon as Seth says, welcome to Monday Night Rollins, and said, don't dare call this place your home. Well, then they start chanting for Punk. And they've created a dynamic here where they're not switching Seth baby or heel. He's just not going to goddamn have him. There's always the one SOB in every crowd, right? But at the same time, the people are glad and happy to see Punk back. And so, but they're interested in this. And Seth's story is you abandoned this place 10 years ago and you spent that time trying to tear it down and slandered everybody. It's my home and the talent are my brothers and sisters, and I'm going to protect the fans from people like you. He says, with every fiber of my being, I hate you. I wish he'd have said, I loathe you.
From hell's heart.
From hell's heart. I loathe you from hell's heart. But he said, but if you're going to be part of the WWE, I want you on Raw. Because the truth always comes out, and this is your last chance. Either you're going to self-destruct and blow up and you'll be done, or if by a miracle you have changed and you got enough gas left in your tank or whatever, maybe then you're going to fight me for the world title and I'll expose you for a fraud and show you that I'm the best in the world. And the whole time Punk is looking at him and sitting there and taking it. And then he says, Punk says, are you done? Then that's your one pass to talk to me disrespectfully and get away with it. Just frivolously, if you will. And then Punk called for Adam Pearce, said, hey, just to let you know, CM Punk is entering the Royal Rumble. And when I win, maybe it's you that I'm going to be coming after. Because remember, we were speculating, if you will, mental masturbation on who, if he wins the Rumble, he might challenge. And let's face it, so far the real champion in everybody's mind is Roman Reigns. But if you've got Seth Rollins and now CM Punk, and Punk was to win that, then you're starting to make a case for it, maybe. But anyway, point is they then left in a huff, as they say. And that was 15 minutes, and it wasn't boring for one of the first times in Raw history.
Great segment. Leaves you wanting more. I'll say this about Rollins. I think he does one of the best serious faces there. When he's not talking, when he's not laughing, either him just looking dead on at the person and obviously being angry, or him slightly smirking. That's so effective.
Yeah.
And the fact that when Punk says that's your one free shot, he didn't break into like just hysterical laughter or something. Because then Punk would have had to have done something. It played out perfectly, and it leaves you wanting more, and it leaves you wanting Rollins versus Punk at some point.
I can see both of those guys obviously for the same reason of wanting to get the thing over. Both of those guys realizing or knowing that Seth can't really cackle too much over this. If he really fucking hates the guy, which is the point of the whole thing, he wouldn't be doing his whole, he would be the boogeyman, handsome Jimmy Valiant with the fucking eye patch on going, and I will, instead of, woo, messy. So hopefully we'll get more of that.
And Punk in the Rumble. Again, they have Cody announced for the Rumble. They have Punk announced for the Rumble.
Well, I think we knew Punk was going to be in the Rumble as soon as,
of course we did.
We saw him, but at least he's come out and said it. My gosh, with over a month to promote it. Imagine that.
He's going to be working a couple of house shows already announced. MSG and I think one in California. Do you have him wrestle on TV before the Rumble? I asked you this before, do you have him wrestle before the Rumble? And you said no, why would you? And now they announced it for house shows.
Well, but that's, okay, we should have put a finer point on that question. I still would not have him wrestle on television before the Rumble unless it is, let me go back on that now as I'm saying it. If it was a perfect opportunity with an opponent that, he could just shine with a little short something and somebody run in and do something physical, whatever the fuck, if they're doing an angle, that's fine. I would not give a legitimate main event, top restaurant quality CM Punk match away on free television before the Rumble, but a match to reassure the people in their mind that he can still go because they haven't seen him in 10 years. And what the fuck he can do, and then maybe to juice something up for the Rumble, I could see doing that. But house shows I wasn't even thinking about, but in Madison Square Garden, yeah, I'd add Punk to Madison fucking Square Garden. They'll draw $1 million. I mean, they were going to draw close to that, if not more anyway. They'll draw another several 100,000 probably if they add him. So yeah, the Garden, if it's California, Los Angeles, or the greater Hollywood, California market, whatever the fuck, yes, I can see doing that. But and the people there live are going to see it, but that doesn't spoil anything related to a nationally televised pay-per-view.
Well, Jim, they say that CM Punk is straight edge. In fact, he says it. And in fact, he uses the straight edge of a knife to cut his steak for dinner from Omaha Steaks, I presume.
How the fuck did you even remotely get there in your head before you blathered it out, or dribbled it out, I should say?
Magic.
You know, we got to do an old-time radio show just to use those sound effects. And the killer is revealed to be the guy that killed your cow at Omaha Steaks, folks, because it's time. And there he goes, as a matter of fact. That's what the sound the cow makes right before he goes to his great reward. You know what your great reward will be? Is the smiles on people's faces when you feed them that cow. And that's the cow that our friends at Omaha Steaks are going to send you, along with, they've got chickens. They've got whatever thing goes into the jumbo franks. They got plenty of those too. They've got all kinds of stuff.
That's right. Beef and beef products and meat and pork and chicken and apple tartlets. Don't forget those. And of course, potatoes.
I'm not forgetting any of those things. And all parts of those animals and many more go in the gourmet jumbo franks.
They gore right into
in there. You can gore a apple. Fans, the butcher's cut filet mignons, the mouth-watering burgers. You just got where that was from. The gourmet jumbo franks, the easy-to-prepare meals, the folks at Omaha Steaks, because it is the holidays. And people are going to be eating, and they're going to have people over mooching off of them. Omaha Steaks is not only giving you 50% off site-wide, and that's everything on the order one of everything. A minimum order may be required, but you can't go on there and order one pork chop and expect to get half off. And when you use the promo code JCE at checkout, you're going to get an additional $30 off of your order after you got the 50% off. It's just crazy. It's not right. These people ought to be put away in a state home somewhere where they can't harm others. But while they're still able to knock the shit out of a cow, you can send tender, juicy butcher's cut filet mignons and burgers and franks and all that stuff to yourself or to anybody else you want to. Give them as gift. Give people food. Isn't that the Christian thing to do at Christmas? Feed people? Feed the poor. Well, most of the people you know are probably poorer than you, so buy them some meat. And right now, the offer is not going to last long. 50% off site-wide. And when you use the promo code JCE at checkout, an additional $30 off your order at omahasteaks.com. Did I say that before? I'll say it again. omahasteaks.com. Again, 50% off and $30 off. And they're almost giving it away. Poor Bossy. I thought she'd be worth more when we sent her on to the great beyond.
This is Bossy the Third.
omahasteaks.com. And you'll get Bossy. You'll tell people, eat that meat. Eat your meat.
From Omaha Steaks.
Yes. .com.
Promo code
JCE. I mentioned that.
At checkout.
Well, you can't do it before you go there. You got to go there and get something, then use the promo code to get the money off. That's the way it works.
Well, then go there now. Omaha Steaks.
Well, don't go right now. Don't stop listening to us.
You can do both.
Can you do two things at the same time?
Why not? Why wouldn't you be able to?
Well, then do it then. Listen to us and go buy your meat over there.
Over there from
Over
Omaha
there.
Steaks.
Yes.com.
Code JCE.